What's going on, guys? Welcome back to WWE Network and Chill, where I, Graham G.S. Matthews, break down all the original content I watch on the WWE Network and on Peacock. And today we're talking the December 4th, 2021 edition of Talking Smack. And we probably had the most noteworthy thing on the entire show to kick it off. Matt Camp has a haircut. I kid. Not about the, haircut part, about the most notable part of the episode part. But Matt Camp did come back. He was not on Raw Talk this week alongside Jackie Redmond. Jackie Redmond and Matt Camp hosted this week. Matt Camp had a haircut, shaved all of his hair off after that bad haircut. In his own words, a couple of weeks ago, I guess he was made fun of for it or whatever by friends and family or something like that. JBL made fun of him for it at the beginning of the episode, which was funny. But yeah, JBL was also back here on Talking Smack. He was on Raw Talk, not this past week, but the week before that. So it looks like they are keeping the recurring analyst position going here on the show. Last week it was Peter Rosenberg on Talking Smack. This week on Raw Talk it was Booker T. JBL was on Raw Talk the week before that. So we'll see what more they have in store going forward. But again, JBL's analysis isn't the most, insightful, because obviously they're all talking about WWE and they're all employed by WWE by a certain, in a certain extent. But still, it's a little bit better than just Matt Camp and Jackie Redmond constantly just retreading what we've already seen on WWE TV with the replays and the pointless analysis. So it doesn't make the show must-see by any means, but it does add a little bit flavor here and there. So they recap the Roman Reigns, Sami Zayn main event from SmackDown and advertised Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar for the Universal Championship at Day 1 coming up on January 1st. JBL called that opening segment with Brock and Sami one of the most entertaining opening segments he has seen in a long time. And I honestly completely agree. The show sucked this week. I talked about it in my full SmackDown audio review from Friday, so be sure to check that out. It went up on Saturday afternoonish, for my full thoughts on it. But it was a great opening segment, I will say that. And they talk about how Sami had two bad choices between facing Roman Reigns for the championship or Brock Lesnar, so he really was not going to win either way. Matt Camp says that match for Roman was not going to get any easier than that. No disrespect to Sami Zayn, they say, but it was definitely the most decisive and the easiest win that Roman has had as the Universal Champion. And JBL even says if he was the WWE Champion at this point, as he was 20 years ago, he also would have wanted to face Sami Zayn because he is the lesser of three evils, if you can even call him that, between him, Roman, and Brock Lesnar as the champion. And he praises Brock for being as destructive and as dominant as he is. He's firing in all cylinders right now, and he's locked and loaded heading to Day 1 as he contends for the Universal Championship one more time on that show. And he's thinking all about his legacy because he could have very easily helped, I guess, Sami Zayn maybe beat Roman on SmackDown to win the championship, but he wants to think about his legacy and take that belt from the man that screwed him out of that championship at Crown Jewel back in October. And he calls Roman and Lesnar at Day 1 a legendary match, as if he didn't see the first 21 matches they had. But I'm looking forward to it too, but it's not exactly a fresh match, But anyway, they also recap the Charlotte Flair, Toni Storm segment that sucked. Maybe not as bad as last week, but still pretty bad. And we hear backstage from Charlotte Flair at SmackDown alongside Kayla Braxton. Charlotte Flair says, Kayla asks her, did Toni putting that pie in her face on the show tonight change anything? And Charlotte said, no, I do not take her any more seriously tonight than I did a week ago. And if the roles were reversed a week ago, she says, she would have beat Storm's ass. Why did Storm stand there not going after Charlotte? So even Charlotte points out in character how fucking dumb it was for Toni to just stand there and not do anything about Charlotte putting a pie in her face and walking away. Even Charlotte recognizes how dumb it is. And when you have your performers in storyline call out how stupid something is, you probably shouldn't be writing it. Because it doesn't make Charlotte look bad, it makes Toni look bad. Charlotte's promo here was one entire burial of the Toni Storm character. She says that Toni did not get her attention, and that all she did was just copy her with what she did. Toni did what Charlotte did to her a week ago. And she's a lot less likely to give her a championship match, and a lot more likely to give her her dry cleaning bill for ruining her nice dress or whatever she was wearing. And she says that challenging Charlotte is an easy thing to do. Everyone does it. But throwing out challenges and saying you want Charlotte Flair gets no respect from her. And come next week, she's going to kick her ass. And that she single-handedly made Talking Smack relevant, which I would agree with. Say what you will about Charlotte or her promos or whatever, But, I mean, this was great just because she single-handedly pointed out how fucking dumb it was for Charlotte, or for Tony rather, to retaliate by putting a pie in Charlotte's face. What good is that going to do? If Tony was pissed, go beat her up. Challenging her to no avail, only for Charlotte to say no, when in storyline she's right, because Tony's done nothing to deserve it. I mean, honestly, like, it's just dumb. This was amazing. Not because it was this great promo, but she pointed out how unrealistic everything we have seen in this feud so far has been. From Tony doing nothing to deserve a shot, to getting pied in the face and doing nothing about it, and then getting revenge by then putting a pie in Charlotte's face. It's not Tony's fault, obviously, but in character, she looks like a dumbass. And Charlotte pointing out that she looks like a dumbass makes it even worse. So I don't know if they scripted her to say that stuff, or if she just put it in there herself. I don't know. But that was just amazing. They then replay the Sonya-Naomi backstage segment, and Cam says that Sonya is going to be in real trouble next week if they do indeed go one-on-one, which they had advertised the match before. It didn't happen back in October or whenever they advertised it, so seeing is believing as to whether they'll actually do it next week or not. We hear from Naomi backstage at SmackDown with Kayla Braxton, and she tells her that she has shown that she is full of a lot of dignity and restraint, but Sonya has pushed her to her limit. But for all that Sonya has done to Naomi, she has not broken her. And now finally, all of that, she'll say in her own words, was worth the wait, because she's gotten her match with Sonya next week, and next week Sonya's going to feel the glow. Great promo here from Naomi, aside from the whole feel the glow shit. I mean, the glow entrance is played out, and it's fine because people like it, but I'm not even sure what feel the glow even fucking means. She's never actually explained what that means, so it just sounds stupid whenever she says it. But the rest of this promo is really good, though, and I'm looking forward to the match if they actually do it. I honestly, part of me hopes they don't do it and they save it for the pay-per-view, but again, seeing is believing. Back in the studio, Redmond and Camp recap the King Woods versus Jey Uso match that went all of a minute. And they also recap New Day challenging the Usos to a SmackDown Tag Team title match at Day 1. And backstage at Talking Smack with Kayla Braxton and the Usos, they make it official. She interrupts the Usos before they're about to speak here on Talking Smack, and she announces that it is indeed official. It's going to be the Usos and New Day for the SmackDown Tag Team titles at Day 1. The Usos say that they're going to revive the rivalry, relive the rivalry from years ago, and they're going to prove come the pay-per-view why they are the ones. They put the one in Day 1. They didn't say that, but that's basically what they said. To close out the show, JBL calls them two of the most dominant teams in the last 20 years, calls it very exciting that they're rekindling their rivalry for the tag titles on January 1st. They know each other really well, and they're going to be fighting to be the GOATs in that tag team division. And he's so excited for the match that if he's not booked for the pay-per-view, he might fly down to see it in person, which I find very hard to believe that if JBL was not booked for the pre-show, which he kind of spoils here that he is, because he always is. But if he wasn't booked, why the fuck would you fly down on New Year's Day to watch? Let me check my notes. Day 1 of all things. You know what I mean? Like, I'm looking forward to Brock and Roman and the WWE title match, and even the Usos and New Day. I don't know if I would fly over to Atlanta solely for that match. I mean, I guess it depends where he's based out of and how close it would be, but that's besides the point. Decent episode of Talking Smack this week. We got that most notable part with Matt Camp getting a haircut. I kid, but we did get the official announcement that it's going to be New Day and Usos at Day 1 for the SmackDown Tag Team titles. And that Charlotte promo was just something else. I mean, honestly, like, if you're as pissed off about the Tony and Charlotte feud right now as I am, watch that Charlotte feud, because it's amazing how much he rips it apart. And it makes Tony look even worse. So that was certainly something. The Naomi promo was good up until the Feel the Glow part. And we got an announcement. So like an above average, I would say, an above average edition of Talking Smack this week. No thanks to JBL's pointless analysis, but again, he's a welcome face on the show just because I guess it's better than hearing Jackie and Matt Camp drone on for a while about pretty much nothing. So at least they fill the time a little bit better that way. Thank you for checking out my review of the show. I appreciate it. Be sure to drop a comment, share the video, subscribe to the channel for more daily content, and stay tuned for more reviews of Ruthless Aggression, Broken Skull Sessions, and much more right here on the channel. Raw Talk as well. We have a lot of interviews going up soon with Braun Breaker from NXT, Liv Morgan from Raw, hyping up the Raw Women's Championship match coming up this Monday on Raw, and so much more. So if you're not already subscribed and you haven't already hit the bell button to get notifications every time a new video goes up, you're certainly missing out. Please do so. I would appreciate it. Have a great rest of your weekend, guys. I'm Graham G.S. Matthews, and I'll catch your ass down the road.